here we are. Thank you all for joining. It is Quarantine Con Carne. I thought for this podcast episode, I would just invite the general public. Whoever wanted to jump on. We're all sequestered at home. We're all kind of figuring out how to get through this together. So I'm just going to talk to everyone who jumps on today. And I have helping me behind the scenes, my pal Giorgio. Giorgio, say hi. Perfect. So what's going to happen is if you want to join in the conversation, jump on the chat. We're on Zoom right now. Jump on the Zoom chat and let Giorgio know you want to chime in. Basically, I'm asking everyone the same question. How are you getting through this? What are you doing to get through this? And what movie should we all watch as we're sequestered, as we're all sheltering at home? Car Con Carne is sponsored by C&H Financial Services. Business owners, you should keep this website in mind, freeprocessingnow.com, or call 855-600-2437, extension 999, and start saving money today. All right, Giorgio, who should we talk to first?
Well, Phil is in first. I'm not playing, I'm unbiased, but let's go with Phil.
All right, Phil, hello. Where are you chatting at us from? What part of Chicago are you in?
Chatting from Lakeview, the room next to Giorgio.
Mm-hmm.
All right, producer Giorgio's roommate. So there might be some bias in the selection early out of the gate here. Phil, that is a magnificent beard.
Thanks.
Might you be hiding the cure for COVID-19 in that beard?
They say I'm more apt to getting it with it, but
I feel like if we reached in there, we'd pull out like an old shoe, an anchor, maybe a fishbone. There's a lot you could stash in there.
These last 6 days have been rough for the beard, JVO. Usually I get it presentable because I have to see people, but I'm seeing nobody, and it's getting – this is –
All right, so tell me, Phil, how are you handling this time of social distancing? What are you
not
doing
handling it well.
Are you being facetious, or are you really having a tough time?
No, I'm a little bit of a tough time. I'm an only child, so being alone is a thing I'm very used to, but it's not something I look forward to. So having an extended time with Dad is a little bit of a bummer. But Giorgio's here, so that's fun. I at least have a pal. I'm not living alone, so that's fun.
All right. So as far as what we should watch, do you have a movie you'd recommend to everyone who's sitting on this podcast right now?
Sure, yeah. I saw it was right up on the top of Netflix, and I watched it, and it was great. I encourage everyone to watch Kingpin, the Farrelly Brothers.
It's a classic. Bill Murray, Woody Harrelson. I'd watch Woody Harrelson in anything.
Bill Murray in anything.
For real. All right, Phil, good luck. I hope, things like this help. I think the secret is just talking to people.
Yeah, content is king right now, and I appreciate everything you're doing for that, JVO. Keep doing it.
All right, thank you, Phil. All right, Giorgio, who are we talking to?
Let's talk to Kara Caribou. She's in the islands. She has places to go, so let's go to her.
Wait, where is she? Hi, Kara.
Really, yeah. I'm not. I thought it had this background. I don't know how he did it, and I don't know how to get it off. So
that's amazing. Now, Kara Caribou celebrated Chicago radio personality. Who you can hear on 94.7 WLS. So, Kara, how are you navigating? How are you handling?
I'm actually trying not to watch TV that much, honestly, because I feel like I can get things done now. So I'm cooking and I'm organizing. I know it doesn't sound fun, but I normally don't cook and I normally don't organize, so that is new.
I know a lot of people are cooking just to kind of kill time. Like the more complicated recipe, probably the better. Mm-hmm. It occupies a lot of hours. So what do you like to cook? Are you more of a cooker or a baker?
I don't bake at all. I don't even have a mixer. I made zucchini lasagna. I made chicken rice. I don't even know what it's called, some chicken rice dish. I'm going to make a homemade pie later, so I guess that kind of is baking. I don't know. What do you want me to make?
I'd like a pizza. Can you knead some dough?
I need some dough to knead. I don't know. I can try.
All right. So, Kara, one movie that everyone who's listening to this podcast, everyone who's watching, should see as they're sheltering at home?
Well, the irony, I think, Groundhog Day, because you're probably going to be watching it over and over again. I mean, I love that movie. I can watch that movie all day, every day.
So that's 2 movie suggestions in a row centering around Bill Murray.
Oh, really? I didn't even realize.
Yeah, makes sense to me. All right, Kara, well, have fun in your island paradise.
Thank you.
It is Car Con Carne. If you're just joining, what's happening is everyone comes in on mute, and we're taking people one by one, so it's not utter chaos and anarchy. Giorgio, esteemed producer, is helping filter people in here. Giorgio, who's next?
Let's see. We got good choices. I want to hear from Steve because of his movie choice.
All right, Steve, hi.
Hi, James. How are you?
Oh, Steve. Wow, you're in the lab.
No, I'm at work, man. It's me and like 4 other people right now.
That looks cool. That's a cool background. Looks like you're up to some shit.
I'm always up to some shit, James.
All right,
But
so
yeah.
Steve, you're at work. So you're in it. I mean, you're doing the hand washing every 10 minutes. You got gloves. You got the kerchief around your mouth. When you're not sitting there at work, how are you managing?
Now, I got to recommend it because I feel like I'm ahead of everybody on this, but you got to go rent The Invisible Man on Amazon. It's really, really good.
The new one.
Yes.
I saw it in the theater before it went out. It's way better than I would have expected. God, I can't think of the actress's name. She's fantastic.
Oh, Elizabeth Moss.
She is so good in that. And that opening sequence where she makes her getaway is tense. It's claustrophobic. It's truly thrilling.
Oh man, I still haven't unclenched from watching it a couple times this weekend. And the great thing about Amazon rental is you get it for 48 hours, so you can go back and rewatch, see what you missed. Whenever you're looking for clues as to what's happening. I don't want to spoil it.
They did it with The Hunt as well, the other NBC Universal movie, The Hunt. No pun intended, but I can't pull the trigger on $20 to see that movie. But I do want to see it, and I think it's cool that they're making it available online. But Steve, back to the first question. How are you managing through everything?
I am just concentrating on work as much as possible. There are points where I hit a wall, and I just kind of lose my ambition, lose my feeling that everything's going to be all right. And, it's tough at times, but you get through it. You just keep going. You just try to amuse yourself when you can. You work when you can. You sleep when you can. That's the best thing I could do. Oh, and I watch Car Con Carne every night, hosted by James Van Ostel.
Because we're now nightly. That's how if you want to know how I'm dealing with the sequestering and sheltering at home, doing a podcast every night. It's a nice distraction, something I look forward to. It's a chance to communicate and talk to people. And so thank you, Steve, for watching. Thank you, anyone else who watches or listens. Steve,
you're like the new Johnny Carson right now.
Okay, can you move over on the couch so I can talk to someone else?
Okay. Thanks,
Thank
James.
you. All right, Giorgio.
All right, thanks, Steve. That movie sucks, though, by the way. So
It doesn't suck.
We're gonna go to. Let's see.
Can we talk to
Karen
John?
R.
Oh, it's Karen R. Let's talk to Karen R.
Aw, thanks, JVO.
Oh, it's Karen from the
How's it
Chicago
going?
band Bellhead,
That's right.
who we love and adore. All right, so
And
Karen,
I love you.
how are you managing through everything?
Man, it's fine. I got this. Like I was made for this.
You were made for being sequestered at home. You're okay
Right.
with?
I mean, I'm pretty antisocial anyways, but no, for Ivan, my bandmate, and I, it's business as usual. So during this time, we just finished our website. The EP tracks are being sent to Carl for mastering. The album art is done. So when everything is over, we're coming out in like full force again. So
You and
I'm super busy.
Ivan Russia, Mr. Russia.
Mr. Russia, that's right.
I saw you both. What was it? At WWE NXT?
Oh God, yes.
There may have been some cocktails involved that night.
There were 5 or 6 of them. At some point, we ended up in a limo. Ivan was smooching on my fiance, and apparently we all almost got kicked out. So we like to cause chaos wherever we go.
Rock and roll. All right, so Karen, recommend a movie for all of us.
Yeah, what I don't recommend is do what I do. So before everything got crazy, I did a double down with Outbreak and then Day After Tomorrow.
Oh,
so
God.
don't do that.
I did start watching Outbreak on Netflix because it was trending. It's like it's right there as you're scrolling by. I'm like, I haven't seen this for a while. I like Dustin Hoffman,
Right.
but no, little too close.
Yeah, I got through part of it, and I'm like, no, I can't do it anymore. So I go to my trusty standby, Big Trouble in Little China, because that'll always make me feel good.
Is that a John Carpenter?
It is, yeah. And if you have the DVD, they actually have the music video for the theme song of Big Trouble in Little China, which you have to watch. It's hilarious.
All right,
Last week.
since you are a musician, and I'm about to cut you loose, where do we hear your music?
Yeah, go to bellheadband.com now that we have a fancy new website. You can get everything there.
Nice. All right. Thank you, Karen. All right. So if you're just joining us, first of all, thank you for joining us. It is Car Con Carne, Quarantine Con Carne. This is the new world we live in. I can't go in my car and entertain guests and share food for the foreseeable future. So this is what we're doing. Every night I do a podcast from my proverbial home office, and tonight it's open to everybody. Giorgio, the esteemed Giorgio, is grabbing people one by one. Let him know that you want to talk by going to the chat portion of this. And Giorgio, who are we talking to?
Let's go to John Tom KIW.
John Tom Q.
Q.
Hi, JVO. How are you doing?
John, looking handsome.
Thank you.
Been ages since we talked. Now, back in the day, for those watching, I knew John when I was doing a local music show on a different radio station, and you managed
Boom Hank.
Boom Hank. And I remember all those songs, Kindling and
Power pop at its finest.
Love that stuff. All right, so John, how are you managing through everything?
Well, for me, this is day 1,905 of self-quarantine, because as a freelancer, you basically sit at home all the time anyway, and you try and find an excuse to go out. Like it's, let's go to Costco. Costco will be our adventure today. So today is kind of just a wash for me. The weird thing being in Milwaukee, the northern reaches of Chicago, the streets are completely empty. There are usually 3 or 4 people because Milwaukee is such a small town, but now it's completely like dead. And no cars. I mean, it literally looks like the beginning of The Walking Dead, where you see the Atlanta highway. So it's kind of eerie in that way. Tomorrow they are instituting a stay-at-home for the city and the state. So that'll kind of push things into just essential services.
Now, as a freelancer, does this mess with your livelihood?
A little bit. Some of the clients have bagged out. I mean, they're gone. The places are just shuttered. One in particular, though, I've been doing some work for an air purifier company, and they're just going like gangbusters because everyone's clamoring for some sort of solution here. And they do commercial grade purification systems. So I do a lot of copy for them, and they are they're fielding calls from France and from Germany and from all sorts of places, just desperate for some sort of solution.
Got it. All right. So John, recommend a movie for us to watch.
All right, this one's easy. It's Boogie Nights, but on network TV. So I watched it last night on Vice. So they condensed it down. It was like a half-hour sitcom, because basically they cut out all the sex, they cut out most of the violence, and then all the swear words were swapped with forking, fluffing, freaking, and it's good for a laugh. Then it's good for a laugh.
Yeah, it seems implausible that you would even try to make that movie work on television.
I don't see like the buyer for the basic cable network was like, you know what? Let's toss it in. Let's see what happens. And nothing good happened. So that's my pick. My anti-pick is Contagion. Don't do that. Just don't watch that, because there is no happy ending. Just put it that way.
No. All right, John, thank you for checking in over the border.
Thank you, sir.
It's Quarantine Con Carne. Again, we have Giorgio manning the phones, so to speak. It's like a radio show. It's just not. Giorgio is checking in to see who is ready to chat, and he is turning mics on and off. He's turning you on and off, as he is wont to do. Giorgio, turn someone on for me.
That's what I do. Let's talk to our good friend, Brian.
Our good friend, Brian.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Brian.
Hello.
Graphic designer extraordinaire. If you look really close, above Brian's left shoulder, there's a picture of Chris Cornell. He drew that. Can you hold that up?
I can't quite reach it over there. Bear with me for
what
a
I'm
second.
trying to say is this guy, Brian, he's a talented sumbitch, is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, so Brian, what are you doing? We're all sheltering at home. Are you okay? Are you...
Yeah, I've been working from home since the 13th. My office closed down early, and we've just been business as usual, but remotely. So everyone is just in their own places, and we video chat in routinely, catch up with the team, and we just do presentations online now. So it's, I've been working from home probably one day a week for the last several months, so I'm set up for it. But everybody else on my team, it's been a little bit culture shock for them, getting used to not seeing people regularly. But get by.
Recommend a movie for us.
I don't really have a great movie, but I have a great series. Is that against the rules?
No, that works. There are
Sex
no
edu-
rules. It's a
Sex
podcast.
Education on Netflix is excellent.
I've scrolled by that a million times. What is that?
It's it's about a boy whose mom is a sex therapist, and he's kind of awkward, kind of nerdy. He's like 15 years old, and he's helps some bully out with his sexual problems, and he ends up being really good at giving advice. And so he starts making money, and then he becomes attracted to like some girl in class who's helping him out too. And it's just a really good show. It's really funny and good humor. It's really good.
Nice. Well, Brian, thank you for checking in.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
That's Brian on Quarantine Con Carne. All right, Giorgio, can we light up Z-Spang?
I would. Yes, let's go with Z-Spang. Just gonna say that.
I like this.
Hey, cheers.
Cheers. Hello. Hey,
Oh.
thanks for being part of the podcast, Quarantine Con Carne.
Thanks for having me.
So, sheltering at home. It looks like you do have a shelter kind of carved out for yourself there.
Yeah.
How are you? Are you coping? Are you okay? I mean, we're at the front end of this, but are you all right?
Yeah, we're okay. I actually took my boys out of the city. We're out in the country where my folks are from. They had an extra house that wasn't rented, so we just kind of figured it'd be nicer for them, because they have a yard and stuff that we can go out in. So that's kind of like how we've been coping with it.
Can I come too?
Yeah. We'll lock you up for 14 days, and then you can come out. And so.
So you went rural. You just got the hell out of Dodge. You just.
Yeah, we kind of when it started heating up, we were just like, you know what, like our apartment right now isn't the spot for them, so we just hopped out and yeah. Just
see, and that's tough. And I know there are probably people on this call, including yourself, who have smaller children. It's like taking care of yourself is one thing, but occupying the minds and bodies of small children, it adds a whole layer of complexity to this.
Oh yeah, and then I also became a teacher now, this last week because of homeschooling basically now. So I'm taking all that over. So now I'm a first grade teacher, and
Okay, first grade
too. So
I just want to say, person to person, once you hit about 4th or 5th grade in the kids' education, you won't be able to help anymore.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, I got to a point when the 5th grade math homework started coming in. I'm like, well, fuck, I've clearly learned nothing in my adult education or in career. I'm of no value. But if you kids want to make a mix CD or something, I'm your guy. Dad can help. All right, Zach, recommend a movie for us.
Actually, you know what? Last night I popped on a staple, one of my favorites. I grabbed Wayne's World and Wayne's World 2. I binged them both last night. It's always been kind of my go-to and happy movie. So I just popped them in, and I recommend it. It's so fun seeing like classic Chicago in there too.
Oh yeah.
And, and just all the ridiculousness. So.
Who's the guy who played Al Bundy? Ed O'Neill?
Oh yeah, Ed O'Neill.
He is so great in that movie.
Yeah.
In the first one. And one of Alice Cooper's all-time great pop culture moments is in the
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Good recommendations. All right, Zach, thank you for checking in. All right, Giorgio, can we talk to one of this podcast's oldest friends? Can you make Josh Caterer live?
Absolutely. All right. Good to go.
All right, Josh Caterer.
Hi, James.
Every week or so, I want to have you on the podcast. It just kind of always happens that way. Josh Caterer,
I'm in an ongoing fight with Dennis from 88 Fingers Louie to see who gets on more often.
Well, I think by default, it's always you because you did the theme song for Car Con Carne.
Right. So I'm sort of on every single episode ever.
You sort of are. So, Josh, it's funny. Just this morning, I posted to Facebook. I got reminded that 2 years ago today, we had lunch at Smoke.
Yeah, we did.
Together, which was delicious. And when this whole thing passes, we need to go out for barbecue again.
Yes, we will.
So how are you and your family handling all this?
We're doing well. We're actually busy because my wife works mostly from home, creating web content for people, and I work as a music director at a church. And even though we've canceled our services, we've been forced to create an online version of what we usually do live on a Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. So we've been scrambling to create content and record music And so I've been pretty busy, and it's been kind of cool and challenging.
Well, see, and you're talking about something there that I think we're seeing a lot of now. People are finding ways to innovate around this sheltering, this being at home, finding new ways to approach very traditional things.
Yep, definitely.
I mean, I guess what we're doing right now is an example of that, and what you're doing with the church. It's like, okay, well, I can't podcast in my car. You can't actually go and speak to people in your church. How do you flip that over and make it work?
Yeah, so you just gotta play the hand that you've been dealt, and fortunately, I've got some recording experience and things that can be applicable to this situation. Yeah. So we're doing it.
It's interesting, and I'm sure you've seen this a lot too. I'm seeing a lot of artists doing stuff online, like acoustic performances. I see Scott Lucas every day is doing like a different classic rock cover on his social. I saw Jimmy Eat World's been doing stuff.
I was actually hoping, if you will indulge me, to play a little something right now.
I can indulge that.
I feel like it would be appropriate to honor the passing of the great Kenny Rogers.
Oh my God.
And I don't want to take up too much time. I know you got a lot of people queued up here.
I think we can forgive this.
But if I figure I'll just do,
yeah,
I'll do his big one. There's a little call and response to it. I'm counting on you.
No, we're all muted, and I'm not doing it. I'm not going to respond.
You're not going to do it?
I'll ruin it. We've been over stuff like this. I can't.
It doesn't even have to be in tune.
Okay, that's a good start.
Call and response with the Ides of March guy. So I saw that. Okay.
Okay.
You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough to counting when the deal is done. You got to know when to hold 'em. Come on. Know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and you know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough to count it when the deal is done.
That was amazing. Josh Caterer, R.I.P. Kenny Rogers. That was fantastic, unexpected. The beauty of doing this podcast like this. Josh, I adore you. That was great.
Well, it's entirely mutual, James.
All right. So before you go and we talk to people who won't be playing guitar, give us a movie to watch. You're a fan of the classics.
I am a fan of the classics. And I think that the theme you want to go for here, while a lot of people would say you want to watch things that have to do with disease outbreaks, I think you want to go with the theme of confinement. So I would pick the movie The Great Escape with Steve McQueen.
That is a classic. I haven't seen that one in probably 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, I've got it on DVD. I don't know if it's available. I'm sure you could get it on Amazon or something. But if you can find it, it'll be inspiring to you.
So, Josh, before I let you go, everything okay with the Pope's boys, your brothers, everybody doing all right?
Yeah, everybody's hunkered down in their homes and just staying safe and doing some reading.
Tell Matt I say hi, because I swear to God I haven't talked to him in like 30 years. I see Eli, I see you, but Matt's always kind of on the fringes and in the wings. I never talk to him.
I'll pass that along.
Okay. All right, Josh Caterer, I feel like we should all cheer, but we can't because we're all muted. It's Car Con Carne. If you're just joining us, that's Josh Caterer from Smoking Popes. This has been an open call. I mean, jump on.
Am I too late?
Oh, boy.
I was going to join in. Am I too late?
Can you play for real?
No, I can't.
Okay, put that down.
Okay.
Let's talk to someone else. That's Giorgio. He is screening calls, just that we're not all talking at once, and so it doesn't become this weird like Tower of Babel thing. Who should we go to, Giorgio?
We got John Pieri waiting.
Let's talk to John.
John. Hi.
John,
what's up, guys?
Welcome to Quarantine Con Carne.
Thank you, James. Appreciate it. This is awesome, by the way. This is very cool.
Thank you. Are those wedding pictures behind you?
They are. There's plenty of them.
Look at that.
Yeah. The wife, we're almost at a year. And a couple of the folks on here were there. So I hope they had as much fun as I did.
And there's no better way to spend a wedding anniversary than trapped at home with no chance to go anywhere else.
Yeah, without an escape opportunity. Yeah, it really nails home the whole married life thing.
All right, so let's talk about that. You're stuck at home? Are you managing okay? Are you?
Yeah, leaving radio, I went into payroll, and they are two very different worlds. And people need to get paid. So luckily enough, I took some time off for my birthday last week, and I go back tomorrow. So working from home, I have the ability to do that, which is nice and sucks at the same time. But my wife is a nurse, so she will actually leave and go to work. And she works in an asthma and allergy center, which ironically enough, plenty of people are coming there yelling for antibiotics and things like that. Sure. So I do get to see kind of firsthand the healthcare provider role in all of this. And it's been interesting just to kind of see how ill prepared, just the kind of the viral things that you see on Facebook, not the virus, but the viral aspects of this, where you see a nurse with a paper bag and a mask, their one mask that they get. It's true. So it is very interesting to kind of see the real effects of this, while I just try to make sure people get paid.
Well, I thank her for the work she does on the front lines. We
I will.
certainly appreciate that. And it's funny, you talked about leaving radio and going to a legit, a normal-ish industry. It's funny, I left radio at this point, it's like 10 years ago, and I went to, is that a Coors Light Silver Bullet?
It is. One down.
Keep it going. We got all night.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
I left radio 10 years ago, and I went to a traditional job. Everyone had their cubes. You have to be in at a specific time, or you get reprimanded. And I realized, one of the great things about radio, I mean, you can say what you want about the industry. Radio favors people who could do a lot of different shit, who have different talents and can do different things every day. I learned that maybe I'm not as cut out for the world where you just do the same thing every day. It is a rude awakening where you have your one piece that you manage all day. And it was hard for me. Adjustment.
I went from doing the promotions thing, being an intern and going through and doing promotions with G and Phil and Lisa that you see on here and Wednesday, and did that for a long time, for 5 years. And so I did that, and I worked at Jewel, which was my college job out of high school. And eventually I needed to get a real job, if you want to call it that, get that 9 to 5. And I've done it 3 years as of this week, and it's still a learning curve. So sure. No, I can appreciate that. I can agree with that. The whole kind of monotony and cubicle life and whatever. But yeah, it's different. It really is.
And I still have PTSD from that job. I swear. I wrote about it. There's a Kindle book I wrote called You Haven't Earned the Right to Have Fun Yet, available on Kindle, Amazon.com if you're looking for a short, quick read. John, give us a movie to watch.
Detective Pikachu could have been a lot worse. And
this is not a real recommendation. This is not a real recommendation. You're trying to ruin this podcast.
I'm trying to take the whole thing down. At my wife's request, we watched Mystic River the other day, and it was the first time I had seen that. And I really enjoyed it with Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Sean Penn, Robbins, whatever first name. Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
All right, John, thank you for checking
with that.
All right,
Thanks
there we
for
go.
having me. Appreciate
Mystic
it.
River, always a better choice than Detective Pikachu, really.
I wouldn't go that far, but whatever. It's your show.
All right, Giorgio, let's talk to W. Willessa.
Look at this gold. Ooh, look at the sun.
Okay, so here we go.
Oh my God.
She has no video.
You can see all my blemishes.
So really, I'm just talking to a blank screen right now.
Yeah, this is where it goes off the rails.
Yeah, all right.
You're on JBL again.
Oh, oops.
Oh, oops.
Oops. All right, let's talk. Giorgio, grab someone else real quick.
You got it. Here's Jan.
Hi, Jan.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to see you. Thanks to you for jumping on this podcast. I appreciate it.
Hey, I think it's a great idea. I'm sorry I'm a little late.
Well, you're right on time. So tell me about you. How are you handling sheltering at home? Are you okay? Are you ready to hunker down for a couple weeks?
Well, unfortunately, I'm a pharmacist, so I'm not working at home. I'm working at work. And, we're dealing with healthcare and all the issues that are with that and the pandemic. So it's a little bit different for me.
For sure it is. So how are you taking care of yourself and making sure that you're safe as you go to work and dispense what you dispense?
Well, what we do, we make sure we wash our hands. We don't touch our face. You just try to be careful. I mean, the whole thing is safety on, as far as you can be. And then hoping that people are not sick and going out and that sort of thing.
Got it. All right. So Jan, recommend when you are home, or for those of us who are stuck at home, is that a Captain America shield behind you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. For those of us who are stuck at home, what should we watch?
I've been watching that ZZ Top documentary on Netflix.
It's so good, right?
Yeah. I haven't finished it yet because things have been crazy at work. So I'm working a lot at night too, but I thought it was great.
I did too. And it's a very easy watch. I didn't even think I was a big ZZ Top fan. And I watched it. I'm like, oh my God, I want to play LaGrange and Tush right now. Like you become
a teenager into it. And he was like, no, this is not for me.
I love them. And Frank Beard, I didn't know he had such a troubled past with drugs. That was interesting.
I didn't either.
Just super fascinating. That's on Netflix. That's a great recommendation. Thank you, Jan. And please stay safe. And thank you for the work you're doing.
Thank you.
Out there.
You're helping us too. Keep us amused.
Well, thank you. Thank you. All right. It is Car Con Carne, Quarantine Con Carne. Giorgio is manning the chat. If you want to talk, please let Giorgio know in the chat. Have we rifled through everybody, Giorgio? Is there anyone we haven't gone
pretty
to?
Much. We have some people that don't have their videos on, but we can unmute them if we want to.
Nah. I like the video. I like the voyeuristic aspect.
Get on video.
All right, last call. If you want to jump on the podcast, we'd love you to. Giorgio will turn you on, as it were. Otherwise, thank you all for this was an experiment. This could have been disastrously awful. This could have gone completely off the rails. Thank you, Giorgio, for helping. It does look like Phil has something to say, who we talked to at the very beginning of the podcast. Can you unmute him?
Go ahead, Phil.
I just want a JVO's movie recommendation because I always look for those. So especially now after he asked all of us, I want to hear his.
Okay, that's fair. So I tried a couple nights ago. I wanted to do that Netflix party. I like the concept of that, of, all watching a Netflix party remotely and chatting as the movie's going on. But there was a bug in the Netflix party app, so I couldn't do it, and they're fixing it, I think, tomorrow. A movie I'll recommend to anyone who listens is The Invitation. It's on Netflix. It's horror, kind of a psychological thriller. Basically, it's a dinner party that's not quite right. An ex-husband and his new girlfriend go to visit the ex-wife at her house in the Hollywood Hills, and it's a dinner party with her and all of her new friends. And you just get that unsettling feeling that something is really fucked up and is just not quite right. But you see it through the ex-husband's lens, and he's kind of made to feel like he's overreacting and he's kind of being a dick about everything. And you kind of call into question everything along with him. By the time you get to that final act, it is totally bonkers, and I swear to you, it has one of my top 5 favorite movie endings of all time. It's a slow burn, absolutely a slow burn with huge payoff. I can't recommend it enough. That's The Invitation. So thank you for asking, Phil. Love that movie. That's all anyone who listens. That said, thank you so much for being part of Car Con Carne, Quarantine Con Carne. I might do this again. I think this is fun. I like being able to talk to everybody. I had someone from a suicide prevention charity on Car Con Carne a few nights ago, and the importance of talking to people, of just making that kind of eye-to-eye connection cannot be overstated, as we're all kind of stuck in our homes and not going out, not seeing people. So if it's not through this, talk to each other, stay in communication with friends and family as best as you can. Thank you for doing this. Thank you, Giorgio, for helping. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Car Con Carne is sponsored by C&H Financial Services. Bye, everybody.
Bye.